So welcome to Film Inquiry Roundtable number Lucky 13. I'm Kristy Strouse, Editor-in-Chief of Film Inquiry. And today, love is in the air. We're talking about romances, our favorites. And I'm trying not to be distracted by an adorable dog on the screen, but feel free to look at that instead of me. It's always fun to have these. And thank you everybody for coming and chatting tonight with me. And this should be a fun one, something sweet after we had our awesome spooktacular edition. First, if everyone wants to say hi, introduce their animals if they have them, Jake and dog.
It was me the whole time. Yes, hello everyone. It's great to have these. I'm Jake Tropila. Hi, get down. Editor at Film Inquiry, also a writer. I write all the bonds. Happy to talk favorite romance films. A category I thought I would have difficulty coming up with some favorites, and then the more I sat and thought about, the more I was like, oh no, I love a lot of these movies. So should be a good time. Throwing it over to whoever would like to go next. And this is Simon, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. Hello, I'm Bailey Joe. I'm an editor at Film Inquiry. I think it's now been like a year since I've joined the team. Very happy. This is my baby, Sakamoto, and I'm very happy to be here. I too had a hard time coming up with romance films, but I found that I was able to find a subgenre of it, which is tragic romance films that I love. So,
I don't think Sakamoto loves that subgenre.
He doesn't like tragedy, I guess. I'm sorry, baby. All right. Beautiful love stories. Oh, now he's licking me. Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
You redeemed yourself.
Well, I'm Emily Wheeler. I've been on and off these, I think, as we've done them. Been with Film Inquiry for several years now. I'm the writers coordinator and a contributor here.
Yeah. And you have a kitty too, but he's off screen, or she's...
I have a cat, but I can't make him do anything. So if he wants to appear, he'll appear. And if he wants to stay, probably sleep on the other bed, he'll be there.
I'm Clement. I've been with Film Inquiry for about a year and a half. And I've been in the last couple of these roundtables, and they're like one of my favorite things to look forward to every month.
That makes me incredibly happy. So thank you. Because I have a lot of fun with them too. It's obviously, especially right now, it can feel isolated. So it's really great to be able to see people and chat about the things that we love. So thanks again, guys. And it's funny, I thought I had the same thought too. I was like, I don't know if I can come up with like a lot of them. And now I couldn't figure out which ones to talk about because there's actually quite a few. And sometimes like even romances in a movie that isn't technically a romance, or like a subgenre, like you said, tragic romance. So there's a lot there. So I'm just gonna say a couple and then go around and maybe go around again, and we'll see how that goes. So I would gush about the Before trilogy, but I feel like I've done that on more than one of these already. So I'm not. If someone else does, amazing, because they're some of my favorite romances of all time. But I want to say Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a favorite of mine. I love that movie. Obviously, I mean, you could say that it's like tragic, but it's not. I mean, it's obviously a very like heartbreaking film for a lot of reasons, but it's also, and despite the fact that they can erase brain, memories and stuff of each other, it's actually, in my opinion, more honest about, relationships and love and all that. So that's one of them. And then I'm going to throw it to maybe an obvious one, but I love Sleepless in Seattle. I just feel like that's a cozy romance that has a lot of rewatchability with Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan. And yeah, it's just one of those, it's just one of those feel-good movies. So those are, and the third one, Punch Drunk Love. That might be unorthodox, but I, first of all, big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, but also I just think that movie is another kind of quirky, unusual take on love, but it's also feels authentic somehow. And that's another one of my favorites. And the Philip Seymour Hoffman scene rocks. So, or every scene that he's in that movie, just to randomly throw that out there because I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. So yeah, Jake, what are some of your picks?
Yeah, well, first I want to say I have never seen Sleepless in Seattle, so I don't know if that's a content for our other project, Blind Spots. But real quick, before I say mine, Kristy, I wanted to ask if you could erase a bad relationship from your brain, would you?
I've thought about this. I think I've actually maybe even film Twitter talked about it, but I don't think so. No. I mean,
No.
I feel like our experiences mold us, even the most horrible and depressing ones. So you got to live with it.
The movie argues no, I would say. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, what about you, Jake?
No, I also would not, for the same reasons. I feel like if you don't learn, you won't be able to change. And I think there's that kind of speaks to the uplifting, hopeful note that movie ends on. I should rewatch it. It's been a while. Great movie. But yeah, so a couple of my picks, I wrote several down, but I can always come back to more. I'm honestly really surprised you didn't even mention this one, Kristy, but you introduced this to me several weeks ago. Bridges of Madison County.
I knew you were going to say it. That's why I didn't.
Masterful. Go listen to our Blind Spots episode, but if you haven't listened to that or seen the movie, it's just such a beautiful, nice movie about just two people who meet for 4 days and just fall in the deepest love with each other, and the ache when that is taken away. It's as good as anything Clint Eastwood's directed, and it's beautifully performed too by him and Meryl Streep. It's just note perfect throughout. I feel like that's definitely one. And then another one I considered saying, because it is sort of has a reputation as being the best of this type genre of film, is Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love, which by all accounts is a masterpiece. But I'm not going to recommend that one, even though you should see it. But I'm going to go with another film he directed called Chungking Express, which tells two stories of two sets of people falling in love. Just how he crafts the most beautiful movies in the world. They're shot by Christopher Doyle, and there's just this like beautiful life and a sense of urgency to his work, and the romances in them just feel so achingly real. The third film, let's go with, okay, so this one is a very unusual as a romance film, but I think it very much applies. I'm gonna go with Yorgos Lanthimos' The Lobster, and
so good.
Yeah, it's, I mean, the setup alone for the film is that being single is essentially outlawed, and you have 45 days to live in a hotel and find a mate, and you can add time by hunting people who have run away from society in the woods. And Colin Farrell is tasked with trying to find a mate. And I think it's Yorgos' best movie. Just his sense of humor, his sensibilities, all the stuff, the quirks of the hotel rules are great. Colin Farrell is fantastic. Rachel Weisz is heartbreaking. John C. Reilly's really funny in it. But yeah, I think it's just something so strange. It's also just works so well. So yeah, The Lobster. Those would be my three recommends.
Yeah, The Lobster's great. I actually just had a student ask, like I was trying to explain what that movie was about to someone recently, and it makes me laugh trying to explain it just because it's so outrageous sounding, but that's part of the beauty of it. So
I know it's like you on paper, it's like, what is this weird psycho project? But yeah, it's completely different in film. Who'd like to go next? Bailey Jo?
Okay. So most of these I watched when I was younger. Like the only one that's like kind of newer, I guess I'll start with that, is The Big Sick, the Kumail Nanjiani Emily V. Gordon movie that they wrote like about their love story. And I was super excited to watch it because I love his stand-up. And I thought it was like, it was very similar to kind of the feeling of more romantic movies of like the past, like maybe in like the silver screen era, but it's also like very unique, you know, about like he's Pakistani American, she's going through this illness and she's in a coma for a good part of the movie, like, and it's a big part of like him and his relationship with her parents, and then like, you know, they eventually fall in love and like fall out of love kind of. I think it's a great romantic movie, very unique. And then a big one, I have to say, Moulin Rouge. To me, that is like the ultimate romantic movie. Just because like it's all music, and music is like, you know, what is it? The food of the soul of love. And I watched it last night and it got right to the part where Satine was, spoiler, where Satine was dying. And I was like, I think it's time for bed. That's enough. I'll finish it tomorrow. Cause like just like the love they pour into the last song together is just too much for me. And then I really love House of Flying Daggers. Have you guys seen that one?
No.
Oh, I don't remember the director's name, but it's
Meng?
like it's a foreign movie with Z Zhang, and it's set in like not ancient China, but like China, and the whole premise is like love transcends like time kind of thing. These two people meet over like a couple of days and they're enemies and like spies, but they fall in love in like no time at all, and it's like an instant connection, and it goes against everything they've both fought for and built themselves up for. And there's this huge gorgeous climactic battle that ends in a snowstorm and it's an amazing movie. But I loved like listening to the director talk about like, you know, you can fall in love instantly and it be real, more real than someone who's grown to love someone over time. I think that's perfect movie magic. I love that. I highly recommend it. The way they treat the horses in the movie, however, isn't that great. So be aware of that. And then I have my little figurines here for another pick, Whisper of the Heart, which is a Ghibli movie. So Clement, have you seen it, or Emily?
I haven't yet, no, but I was going to talk about Ghibli maybe a little bit.
Okay. So Whisper of the Heart, it's not a Miyazaki movie. And it's about these two teenagers, and they kind of have like a little bit antagonistic relationship together. But the boy, he inspires the girl who's kind of lazy he inspires her through his dreams to follow her dreams. And it's this gorgeous, like little cute romance between these two. I think they're middle schoolers, but who cares? And she becomes inspired by the Baron, this little guy, a figurine of him that is in the boy's grandpa's or uncle's shop, and his lost love, Louise, who is his like another figurine that he's in love with, and she's lost forever. And that turns into a love story that she writes about kind of. And it has a really beautiful moment towards the end where they like confess their love to each other at night in like this suburb of Tokyo. And it's an amazing little film. Everyone should watch it.
Isn't the prelude to Cat Returns, is it? Or is that different?
Yeah, so it's kind of implied that the Cat Returns is the story that she writes, but it's not explicitly said because it's a completely different director, because the director who did Whisper of the Heart died, even though he was supposed to take over for Miyazaki when Miyazaki was supposed to retire the second time. But yeah, The Cat Returns is also great, but sadly no Louise in that one. It's okay. But yeah, and then I guess Yeah, those are like the main ones. We can like come back. I have a few more too.
Sure, excellent. Emily, do you want to throw yours out?
Yeah, I can go ahead and get started. I think when I tried to put together a list, I was like, a lot of you that you were alluding to earlier, I was like, I don't have any that's immediately popping to mind. So I started just like list out a bunch. And then I sort of landed on, I realized I really like sort of doomed romances. And like the first, yeah, like the first one I immediately listed out was Brief Encounter from David Lean, because I love David Lean's romances in general. His epics, sort of when you think of David Lean, I actually prefer his romances in general. Brief Encounter, I would think I agree with most people, is his best. If you don't know it, the title kind of describes the plot. It's two people who briefly have this romance, basically mostly in a train station, but they're both married, so they can never be together. And I thought of that immediately because a month or two ago, I had a night where I was like, I can't decide if I want to rewatch Brief Encounter or Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And I can't decide, so I'm just going to watch them both. So when I watched them both back to back, I realized that they are such similar movies and that they are these two romances you know are not going to last. You have a very brief amount of time in which they take place, and yet you know those people will remember them forever. And that's the kind of doom romance that I realized I was drawn to overall. So I started listing out, I randomly rewatched Certain Women last night, and the section with Lily Gladstone and Kristen Stewart is kind of the same thing. You know, they're not going to last, but it's very impactful little romance. Sort of the romance aspect of Hearts Beat Loud, you know, is it going to last? I had Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind down. I would account that as a doomed romance. I mean, so that's kind of what I mostly came up with at first, is I just love these movies where you kind of have this brief period of time. It's not necessarily like the traditional romance, maybe narrative, but you spend a lot of time building their relationships that you know that people will remember it forever.
Very well said.
Yeah, and I think
Most of these I've never seen. Y'all are schooling me.
that's why I love this.
Yeah.
I Brief Encounter has been on my list for the longest time, so I need to get to that sooner rather than later. So thank you, Emily, for cattle prodding me into putting it on my list again. And I think Bridges of Madison County would fit into that doomed romance category as well.
I know. Bridges of Madison County is one I mean to circle back to, because it's one that I just randomly watched on TV when I was in like high school, and I loved it. And I was like, I bet it'll mean a lot more to me now, though, that I'm older.
Yeah, it'll knock your socks off. Right on. Great choices. Clement, what do you have?
I had a Portrait of a Lady on Fire as well, and I wanted to also briefly mention, shout out to Porco Rosso for being a movie that's not like a romance per se. It's more like Casablanca in that it's like a wartime drama, but it has like this great romantic backdrop, both with the setting and also like the interplay between the characters. And it's less about the stuff that actually happens within the film and more about watching the characters interact, and their conversations are like weighed down by all this history that they share. So I think Porco Rosso is really remarkable. When I heard that this was Romance Week, though, I immediately thought of Billy Wilder, who gave us one of the, I think, the worst romances that I've ever seen. The 7-Year Itch was just abhorrent, besides the Marilyn Monroe dress scene in New York City that everybody knows from that movie. The movie around it is garbage. But he also gave us The Apartment and Irma la Douce, which are, for my money, probably some of the best romances ever put to film. Both of them are Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine vehicles. So it's funny to sort of imagine them in like a Cloud Atlas situation where they're just reincarnated into, because in one, they're both living in New York City. And he's like this financial guy in this company. He's really just another guy with a desk. And then she's the elevator operator, who's also shagging his boss. And then over the course of the drama, they sort of ingratiate themselves with each other and have this really like nice bittersweet relationship. And then in Irma la Douce, it has one of my like all-time favorite romance sequences. The premise is a lot wilder, pun intended. because Jack
Billy
Lemmon,
Wilder.
exactly. Jack Lemmon's this like French or Italian police officer who breaks up this brothel and inadvertently gets fired for doing so. And Shirley MacLaine plays one of the prostitutes at the brothel, and he falls in love with her. There's shenanigans, and he eventually becomes her pimp. And he realizes that since he's so in love with Shirley MacLaine, but also his entire livelihood relies on him being her pimp, he doesn't really want her to see other people. So he invents this like pompous French aristocrat character, and he gets all suited up for it and everything, and he becomes her sole client, and he goes to see her all the time, and he pays her entire salary that way. But also he doesn't make any money doing that. So there's this really, really beautiful sequence in the middle of the movie where he goes out to like labor in a meatpacking plant all night to actually make money to afford to be the Baron by day. And so he's out just working his ass off, and he comes back climbing in through the window to get back in and crawl into bed just before Shirley MacLaine wakes up in the morning and realizes that he's gone. It is really incredible. And he also did Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart, which I love as well. So,
do you like the remake
of Wilder romances of Sabrina?
Yeah, with Harrison Ford. Did you ever see
I haven't seen the remake of Sabrina. No. But speaking of remakes, though, he did do The Front Page, which is a remake of His Girl Friday, if we're talking like classic romances. I didn't see The Front Page either, but it is another Jack Lemmon vehicle, so it should probably slot in fine.
Yeah.
The movie you described reminds me a lot of Hustle and Flow, of which I've seen maybe 20 minutes. So nice.
I'll put it on the list.
Well, it's a good segue. Another one that I love is True Romance. I love that movie in general. Tony
Scott
got
it in the title.
Exactly. Come on.
I haven't watched that in years. I literally only remember, is that where she puts a corkscrew in the guy's foot?
In Gandolfini's foot, yeah.
That's all I remember. So
it's a memorable scene.
I need to rewatch it.
It holds up. I rewatched it a couple months ago at Kristy's urging, and it was it's great.
Yeah, there's I don't know, Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette. It's a very strange movie in a lot of ways, but it's fun and it's sweet somehow, even though they meet because she's a call girl. Gary Oldman is her pimp. So you might want to check it out. But yeah, just I don't know, maybe this is crazy, but I actually think the romance in Titanic still stands up too. For some reason people it's a thing. It's like you can't like appreciate Titanic or something, you get hated on. But I mean, it's Leo and Kate, even when their like marriage is falling apart in Revolutionary Road, they're still like, it's still a romance I love. They just have a lot of chemistry in that movie, and it still makes me a little weepy at the end with the door. So
Titanic, another doomed romance film.
Wait, it's doomed? What happens at the end? Wait.
Spoiler.
They all die. But I think Emily repped Titanic a couple episodes ago. If I'm not mistaken, she brought it up. I forgot what the topic was, but I mean, it's I think its success made it a punching bag, but I can't deny that it still works. Titanic's great. Couple others I'm just kind of throw these out because they're the same director. I've just been on a kick of revisiting films that I from a few years ago that I did not take to when I saw them in theaters, but now I actually quite enjoyed them more. And it's the trilogy by Terrence Malick, To the Wonder, Knight of Cups, and Song to Song. Only two of those really are a romance. Knight of Cups is just kind of Christian Bale he's an actor, and he's just kind of on this aimless journey through LA trying to find himself, and he beds a bevy of women. But the other two are like just kind of really like they're not informed by really any dialogue or anything. It's just images of characters running through fields together, and I was just sort of transfixed by how beautiful it all was and how good he is at just capturing moments that, you know, of like any great romance. There consists of just scenes of great moments that you know, you hold on to for the impact they have. It doesn't really matter how the narrative ties around it. But yeah, he's kind of had romance like since Badlands and Days of Heaven. You know, those are two, yeah, two films that are, you know, both guided by a central relationship. And yeah, he's quite a sweetheart, that Terrence Malick. So if you weren't a fan of those three films, I would say go check them out again. Maybe you'll see them differently. If not, then go back and watch Badlands or Days of Heaven, because they're masterpieces and great. Yeah.
I don't know any of those movies, so I'm gonna have to write those down.
That's the beauty of these. I have a list going myself of stuff I've been meaning to watch or have never seen. So yeah, I haven't seen the two Ghibli ones you mentioned, so those are definitely going on the list.
We have a whole podcast just around giving recommendations to each other. So
exactly.
Oh yeah, excellent work. One kind of more romantic movie that I just saw is going to be getting a director's cut out like soon is But I'm a Cheerleader. That's a great romance film. Like
director out? I didn't know about this, sorry.
Yeah, it was just announced, and I just double checked, and yeah, it's gonna have like some extra scenes added in, which I'm like, yes. I really love that movie. When she's doing her cheer at the end about how much she loves Clea Duvall, is that how you say her name? Yeah. It just warms my heart so much, like seeing these two young women like come together and fall in love with all odds against them. Like, so great. I'm very excited about a director's cut. Like, yes, score.
Criterion when?
It should get Criterion. Just
all I want for that movie is a commentary with just Clea, Melanie Linsky, and why am I blanking on her name?
Natasha Lyonne,
yeah. All I want is those three to just do a commentary through the entire movie, because it could be hilarious.
Just their deep voices meshing together. Yes.
Clea has a new movie coming out like next week too. Yeah. Kristen Stewart, Holiday, Mackenzie Davis. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So
I need to figure out how to watch it here. So hopefully.
Oh yeah, it's Hulu. I don't know how that
we have Hulu here, but it's not like the same. It's not exactly the same catalogs kind of thing. So I will see. I got to figure it out though.
Wild that this is random but not random. That new Wonder Woman is going on HBO Max in December. It's wild.
I just got HBO Max
simultaneously with a theatrical release. It's like risk your life or steal it online. What do you want to do? Good times. Emily, did you have any other films that you wanted to throw out we didn't cover the first time?
Yeah, I'll just throw out Clement jumped the gun a little bit on one of my picks, but I'm a big Howard Hawks fan, so I have to give it up to his romantic comedies. I think they're really great in general. His rapid fire dialogue kind of is perfect for that genre. So His Girl Friday is great. I slightly prefer Bringing Up Baby just because it's a raunchy comedy in the time of the Hays Code, and somehow they still make it super raunchy because it's just all innuendo, which is great.
Got that famous line.
Yeah. You can do or you can do the knockoff of What's Up, Doc, which I think Jake and I disagree on which of those two are better, because I would prefer Bringing Up Baby. If I recall from previous conversation, Jake prefers What's Up, Doc. But they're both great movies.
What's Up Doc's amazing. Clement, did you have any other films?
I wanted to talk about You've Got Mail for a second, because
Please, the floor is yours.
I adore You've Got Mail. It is something that I rewatch every November, December-ish because it's a perfect autumn movie. It's funny though because I don't really care that much about the romance in it. It's just everything else about the movie that I love. I could take or leave the will they won't they of it all, but the just really cutesy writing with Tom Hanks, chatting with Meg Ryan on these clunky computers.
What a Godfather.
Yeah, peak 1998 stuff right there. It's really, really great. But the scene that I love the most is I love the bit where Tom Hanks goes into the coffee shop and can choose to be the nice guy in the situation and be like, hey, it's actually me. But he just doubles down and goes full bore asshole on Meg Ryan. But the thing that I love the most in that is when she's closing her bookstore down at the end, and it's the store that her mom used to own, and so she has all these childhood memories wrapped up in growing up in the bookstore. And the last image that she sees before she closes the door and locks it for the last time is remembering her mother spinning her around when she was a little kid. And that gets to me. And that's why I rewatch You've Got Mail all the time. Also, Tom Hanks has a really cute dog. So
does. Yes. I actually think that movie's
Pay for the dogs.
It's really sweet, really cute. And it's I think it's loosely based on Shop Around the Corner. And actually Sleepless in Seattle is slightly based on oh my God, I can't think of the name of that movie. But another one. But it's just interesting because they're both Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. And they obviously have
and apparently You've Got Mail has a long history as being a stage play before it became a motion picture, which makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Early Nora Ephron stuff.
Yeah,
pretty good.
For Nora.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned When Harry Met Sally.
I hate When Harry Met Sally.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you like it, Bailey? What's your take on it?
Well, the way he delivers "You made a woman meow," that got me. Any movie that says that and with that kind of cadence, I'm like, this is my favorite movie ever. I'm a big Rob Reiner fan. I love pretty much anything I've seen of his, I've really loved. And I know the whole thing is they get together at the end, so it means that men and women can't be friends. And that's not the takeaway I take from it at all. It's well, friendship is a great foundation for good romance. It took them years to make a relationship. And we saw them be friends with people of the opposite sex, with the Carrie Fisher and the other guy.
I got every man Bride.
She's with, she eclipses them. Huh?
Oh, I said that reminds me. I got to throw in The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I was surprised no one said that either. I think we were all kind of we know it's going to be talked about.
I know we're all racing for some of these, yeah. But
as far as romance goes, definitely Princess Bride is above When Harry Met Sally. But I've only seen When Harry Met Sally. I've only seen it twice, and that's in the last maybe 5 years. So I came to it very late after already being married. So I'm sure my take on it is slightly different from other people's, but I very much enjoy it. And yeah, You Made a Woman Meow. I love that.
I like it. I'm not going to go into a full-on descriptor like she did, but I like it When Harry Met Sally. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's got a nice charm to it, and the dialogue feels very, very natural. It's kind of like Woody Allen, but without the gross stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious, Clement, why don't you like that movie? You seem very vehemently against it when it was brought
Yeah,
up.
your computer shook when you.
Yeah.
I think I kicked to the table that I happen on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a Princess Bride fan either. So, but
Canceled.
Inconceivable.
yeah,
Inconceivable.
unfortunately. I'll keep my Billy Wilder. You guys can have Rob Reiner. I joke that his best romance is Misery, but I haven't seen it.
I was gonna make that joke.
I was gonna make that joke too. I kid you not.
I swear I was too. That's funny.
But no, I don't know. It's like, to me, when Harry Met Sally gets so bogged down in the stupid premise of like, can men and women be friends, or are they just gonna constantly be trying to, have sex with each other? And it's like, oh my God, like I can't even like enjoy the quips or the quirky conversations because it always comes back around to that. And I don't know, it just feels like very kind of reductive and sleazy. So I don't know. I get why people like it, but it's not for me.
Fair enough. Any shows? Does anyone have any like romantic shows they love or romances in shows? You should see it, Ollie.
Thinking face.
a really great love story, like romance within a show, is on This Is Us with Mandy Moore and Milo. Have you guys seen the show?
No,
I haven't.
I watched the first season and then
Yes,
I got really tired.
No,
Not because it was bad, because it's kind of exhausting to watch.
It is exhausting. I jumped in the second season with my friend because she's obsessed with it. And so her and I would watch it every week together. And then I went back and watched the first season. But since then, it's gotten wilder. But all of the flashbacks to Mandy Moore and Jack are really, really, really something. Like, and they keep coming up with reasons to bring his character back for random things for the new characters. But and also like it's another like tragic romance because he dies very tragically, and it like upheaves this family's life and her life. But what's nice about it is like she does find love again, although it's not as like passionate. It's still like another stable thing. But it's a wild show. I've not watched the new season, but my friend is bugging me to get on it.
But you successfully spoiled the rest of it, so that's good. I'm just kidding.
No. You know what's going on, like that first episode.
No, you do.
Like...
they stuff happens pretty fast, and I've only seen the first season. I don't remember why I stopped. I think I got tired too. I don't know. It is an exhausting show, but I also am a fan of Outlander, which not everyone is, but it got a pretty amazing romance going there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Time travel, I mean, come on. It's, Scottish guy that says Sassenach a lot. It's just melts you. But I also love history. That's part of the reason why I love that show. But yeah.
My mother-in-law is a big romance novel freak. And one of the first conversations her and I ever had was about 50 Shades of Grey and how much she hates it, because she's like, the writing's bad and the sex scenes are bad. I can show you 20 books on my shelf now that are 10 times better. And then she gifted me all of her Outlander books to like borrow. So a great way to bond with your mother-in-law, Outlander, and hating 50 Shades. But yeah, I agree. Outlander's great. I think I stopped watching the show and I stopped reading the books, but I do agree. I love the love story in that is great.
Yeah, they have a lot of chemistry. It's really good. It's like really what makes the heart of that show. It's the two of them. So I imagine we're all 50 Shades of Grey. But I hope I'm not like offending anyone. I don't know, maybe someone's got a closet.
There's time for me to become pro 50 Shades.
What about The Notebook? Is that such a popular one? Does everyone think that that's worth its love?
I'm not a fan, but that came out like when that came out, that's what everyone was obsessed with. So I went in with big expectations, and I was not. I didn't like that she kept slapping him. I wasn't into that, so that killed it for me. It's like, yeah, forget him.
I think
Just forget.
Came out in my high school years, so yeah, it was one that I definitely ended up seeing. Like that, I ended up seeing a lot, and that Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley came out also while I was.
Yeah.
I was seeing those two a lot.
Yeah, too.
2004-05 era.
Yeah, that reminds me of Sense and Sensibility, just because Jane Austen. That's another romance that
And Alan Rickman, rest in peace.
The Emma Thompson one, yeah, I just rewatched that the other day, and I love how it's kind of like a splintered alt of Pride and Prejudice, whereas Pride and Prejudice is like, this is what will happen when your father dies unless you get married. This is what happened now that your stepfather's dead. You all need to get married.
would have been a fun time, I think, to be a woman, for sure.
It's a fun time to be a woman now, right?
It's better than it was then. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I do love period romance films too, just to throw that out there too, like Far From the Maddening Crowd. Anyone?
Yeah.
With Carrie.
Carey Mulligan.
Yeah, Carey Mulligan.
And what's that guy's name? Ken Schoenarts?
I pronounce it wrong every time.
Yeah, I can't say it right.
It's Matthias.
Something like that.
Schoenarts?
Mr. Oak. That's his name. I call him Mr. Oak, even when he's not in that movie. But
Michael Sheen's good in that movie too.
He is, yes. Michael Sheen is good.
Are you guys any fans of the 1896 45-second film The Kiss?
No,
yeah.
The first romance
scene is a good romance as well.
Which one?
The Roundtable Garden scene. I think it might be like 6 seconds. That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about fleeting romance.
You can kind of feel the sexual tension in second 4.
Yeah. You know, a bunch of people getting steamy in those Nickelodeons. I don't watch any television, so I can't weigh in on romantic TV. But the Star is Born movies are great. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention The Brothers Bloom, which is one of my all-time favorite movies ever. And it's also a really great romance because it centers both Adrian Brody and Rachel Weisz, but also the fraternal relationship of Adrian Brody and Mark Ruffalo as these con man brothers who are trying to pull one over on Rachel Weisz. But then Adrian Brody falls in love with her and it's a whole thing. It's great. She becomes like this lunatic con artist. It's the most like wonderful, totally saccharine, charming, feel-good movie. And there's a great scene during a thunderstorm that might not be appropriate to articulate for our film inquiry roundtables.
We could probably imagine to an extent. Yeah. And that is a good movie. It's been a while since I've watched that. I forgot about it.
It's on cable all the time.
Well, I own it. I haven't watched it in a while, so I gotta get on it. All right. Any other throwouts before we Drake does his trivia?
Well, I'll
a really great one, also set in the Pacific Northwest, is 10 Things I Hate About You. I was also really late to that movie. I didn't see it till college, and my friend threw it at me when I told her I hadn't seen it. She's like, you have to go home and watch this now. And I did, and I was so smitten with it because like it's Taming of the Shrew, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Heath Ledger's amazing in it, and his little twinsy boy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, they're both great. And then besides Dexter, I hadn't really seen a lot of Julia Stiles movies, but she's amazing in that.
Well, she did in the beginning of her career. It's just like teenage romances.
But she was so different, and like her whole look and her whole attitude is so like, I feel refreshing for like teen remakes of Shakespeare, you know. But a great one. I highly recommend. But I'm sure everyone's seen it.
Yeah, Jake had a lot of
I think
reaction.
I watched the.
I wonder if he hates it.
I'm not going to talk about why I reacted the way I did.
Okay.
Oh, is it because of the? Didn't they make fun of it? Didn't they make fun of it in a Not Another Teen Movie?
They do, yeah. He actually sings that part's actually really funny in none of the
Yeah. Pre-Captain America, Chris Evans.
Yeah, singing Aerosmith. Janie's got a gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're just all over the place. Not Another Teen Movie revival, you know. What a great
I think
romance.
that movie is terrible but funny.
It is.
I can't help but laugh. Well, shall we move on to trivia?
No, you don't want to share your reaction reason? Is it personal? Did that movie really? Okay.
Who hurt you?
Who did you organize?
It's not. It'll make sense. Don't worry about it. Should we move on to trivia?
Okay.
I
All
think
right,
it's
great.
going to be the trivia question.
Here we go. Clement, be quiet. So trivia. I think we're all returning, but I will ask 10 film and TV related questions to the group. The first person to say the correct answer will earn a point. The person with the most points at the end of the game wins. In the event that there's a tie, a tiebreaker will become available. Are there any questions?
Are half the questions about 10 things?
Question number 1.
How I don't hate you at all.
10 Things I Hate About You is based on which Shakespearean play?
Taming of the
Taming of
Shrew.
the Shrew.
All right. Bailey, a split second before everyone else, but yes, that was my reaction. I think that movie's funny. I like it. All right. Question number, and I did, you'll notice 2 things. One, there's no questions where you have to guess a number of things. I learned after counting how many films are in the Children of the Corn series that that's a bad idea. And 2, some of the films we covered, Nature of the Beast, but some I'm surprised we did not cover. So let's find out what they are. Question number 2. This one's worth 2 points. You can get either point or both if you can say everything correctly. The question is, which song and artist plays on the boombox in Say Anything?
Oh, it's In Your Eyes.
In Your
Peter
Eyes
Gabriel.
by Peter Gabriel.
Kristy got them both.
Wow.
Pulling out the Lloyd Dobler. Yep, there he is.
Yes.
Had to do it. I actually almost did bring that up, but
Yeah, no.
gave her my heart and she gave me a pen.
At the gas and sip. Question number 3. What is the highest grossing romantic comedy of all time?
Titanic.
Not Titanic.
It's not Titanic. That's a period romantic drama.
I think it's
Historical adventure.
Did you say romantic comedy or romance?
Yeah, romantic comedy.
Crazy Rich Asians, maybe?
No, not that one.
Okay.
You
I
said
think
it's
I
a
can't believe I
historical.
forgot that one. To talk about that one. It's a great one.
What did you say, Clement?
You said it's historical.
No, I was describing Titanic. No,
Oh,
this one
gosh.
this one is contemporary from when it was made. I think. I have not seen it.
From when it was made, so it's not right now.
Yes.
What was the decade?
90s?
Was it
I
a Richard
think.
Curtis?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said, was it a Richard Curtis? Because I think, was it Richard Curtis that did a bunch of 90 romance comedies?
What did Richard Curtis direct?
He's the Love Actually guy.
Right. No, I don't believe it was him.
Okay.
I'm surprised, we didn't say any of his movies either.
Yeah, like Four
I like About Time. It's a good one. Okay, hold
About
on.
Time is good.
The year of the film is 1990.
I have no clue.
It was directed by Gary Marshall.
Pretty Woman.
Yes.
Ah,
Oh,
Yes.
With all
that
the
movie.
talks of pimps and stuff too. Geez, I mean,
know.
yeah.
in the process.
$460 million that movie made. So yeah.
Oh.
I was just
Big
trying
woman.
to think of all of Tom Hanks's filmography, and I was like, I don't think it's Joe versus
Not
the
a bad strategy. But
No, I know. I was thinking all the Meg Ryan, all the Reese Witherspoon. I was just like, Julia, stop. I'm going through all those.
yeah. The thing was, it made so much money because everyone loved the scene where he claps the box on her hand, and YouTube wasn't invented yet, so they had to keep going back to the theater just to relive that moment.
Her laugh is great.
There's another terrible movie that makes me laugh is The Sweetest Thing, where they make fun of that scene. Like,
That's a great
yes,
movie.
they do that whole montage where they're dressing up.
They wear the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos.
Yeah.
So fun times. Anyways, all right. Question number 4. Which film popularized the line, "Love means never having to say you're sorry"?
Love Story.
Correct. For a bonus point, can you anyone tell me which film makes fun of that line?
All of them.
It's technically true, but there is one specific film that also stars Ryan O'Neal.
Wayne's World.
No.
Who does it star?
Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah.
No one?
Not Paper Moon. That's
not
the only
Paper
other
Moon.
movie I know.
Oh. Not Barry Lyndon?
I haven't seen it yet.
They don't say it in that one. Anybody?
No.
I don't have any other clues. All right, well, it's okay. It was only a bonus point, but the answer to that one was "What's Up, Doc?" At the very end. Barbara Streisand says it to Ryan O'Neal, and he says, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." Because he
Well,
said
you're
it
the
to
one who loves that movie. Ask me a question, bring up baby.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Question number 5. What is the name of the necklace in Titanic?
Heart of the Ocean.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, Heart of the Ocean.
Yeah,
I would have
had
also.
one.
I would have also
As a kid, I had a replica.
I thought it was lost and the old lady threw it in the ocean.
Well, I
Have you
dived
guys-
down and found it.
Have you guys seen the alternate
Wow.
ending to Titanic?
Doesn't she jump in wearing it?
No, she's holding the
flies.
Oh, I
necklace,
wish.
and the whole ship crew comes out and they see that she's holding it. And Bill Paxton says, "You've had it the entire time."
And then he
And
snipes her.
she's
Game
like,
over.
Well, she's like, "I've learned to let go of such things." And then she like throws it in the water, and then all the crew runs in and look over the side, and the big fat guy with the beard goes, "That really sucks, lady." It's, I don't know.
That would be
Obviously-
a horrible ending because first of all, it's nice that they don't ever know. I mean, it's sad that she does that too, but
Yeah.
Paxton, but yeah, plus, we wouldn't get the little, that
She still makes that noise though. 'Cause she's like looking at him and she goes, "Ah!" and then throws
so
it
she
in the
really
water.
makes that decision to do that no matter what the ending.
So
I thought that was
the
organic.
actor's choice. Yeah, no. She goes,
Kind of ruins the moment now.
God, it sounds like I really need to watch Titanic. This sounds
just go to YouTube and watch the alternate ending. It's great. And for the record, I would have also accepted the French name for the necklace, the Coeur de la Mer. But yes, Heart of the Ocean is correct. All right, question number 6. Where does Dawson's Creek take place?
On a
Ohio.
creek.
I don't know.
Dawson's Creek.
It's a fictional town in Massachusetts.
I was never a Dawson's person.
No idea.
I've never seen an episode. I just came up with this question thinking one of you might be.
No.
No? Okay. The answer is
That's kind of, I think we're all too young
Is
to
it
have
like?
actually enjoyed that.
No, it was during my time.
Is it
Yeah,
something
make me feel
generic?
old,
like
Bailey.
Old Ridge?
Yeah, I've seen some Dawson's Creek. I just never got into it.
Me
Yeah.
too. Same thing. I remember when it was on, it just didn't hook me. So,
it's all right. Well, the answer is Cape
Or
Side,
Vanderbeek.
Massachusetts.
Cape Side.
Yeah.
So there's a
Moody's Point.
Amanda show. Yeah, I went to a taping of that once. A lot of bloopers. Anyways, all right. Question number 7. Which film was Eva Green's debut as an actress?
The Dreamers, something like that. Okay.
The Dreamers, correct. Rated NC-17. Question number 8. What college did Harry and Sally attend?
it was Chicago. Was it University of Chicago? Was it? No, it was.
Yep, you got it. University of Chicago. Kristy's walking away with this thing, you guys. She's got five points. Bailey Joe has 2. Emily has 1. Clement, we're so happy to have you here.
Clement doesn't watch enough romance movies.
Jake loves to use that line. We're happy to have you here. It always has to be one.
Directed at me, so
Just being polite. Okay.
I'm having war flashbacks to my first one.
In City Lights, how does the tramp convince the blind woman that he is actually wealthy? It's another good movie we didn't mention. There's something he
I haven't
does.
seen it.
I can't remember.
What does he do? And it's actually even discussed in the Chaplin film starring Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
No?
don't remember.
No?
Nope.
Clement, anything? No? Kristy?
No.
No?
What is that? What happens? Tell us.
He makes her believe that he has a car, and that's a sign of his wealth.
Oh,
Because
okay.
she's
Yeah.
blind.
She's blind. So, but if she hears the sound of a car door closing near him, she'll think, oh, he's not a tramp. He's a wealthy guy. So
So he just goes up to cars and opens
no,
it.
he has a work buddy who he gets drunk with, and he borrows that guy's car. He doesn't just gaslight her near a
I don't
car.
remember any
He
of
just like
this.
fans cash in front of her.
Yeah. See, I'm
Smell this
rich.
money.
All right. Question number 10. This one's worth 3 points. Can get a point for each. It's to name all 3 rom-coms starring Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
50
50
First
First
Dates.
The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, and the newest one that I don't
Murder
want.
Mystery.
No, that's Jennifer Aniston. It's
Blended.
Blend. No, it's
It is blended.
nice.
So that
Really?
that was chaotic, but Emily did get one first. She got The Wedding Singer first, and then Bailey Jo got 50 First Dates and Blended first. But great job. That brings it to 5 points, Kristy, 4 points, Bailey Jo, 2 points, Emily. Hello, Clement. Do we want to hear the tiebreaker?
Always.
Always hear the tiebreaker. All right, here we go. The
But
tiebreaker is
our answers for this one, we have to whisper into the hole of a tree and then cover it up with mud.
That's right. It's a deep cut. Such a good movie. All right. The tiebreaker is which 2 friends did not have any relations with any of the other friends?
Joey
Oh.
and Phoebe.
Correct.
Wait, that's not true. Like, didn't have relations with any of the other friends, Joey and Rachel.
Like intimate relations.
Oh,
Because Rachel
Okay.
hooks up with Ross and Monica with Chandler. Phoebe and Joey never did it with any of the other friends.
right. Yeah.
Who plays Phoebe? I've never seen Friends.
Lisa Kudrow?
Lisa Kudrow.
Never seen Friends? Wow, I feel old.
She ends up with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Oh,
My,
But yeah, I was just referring to when Joey and Rachel actually do date for a time.
There is a little bit of that.
They don't like
they kind
sleep
of date.
together. They start like laughing, but they like kiss and have like a.
Isn't that right after
I
she
wanted
has the
them
baby?
together. I thought they were cute together.
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
watched
yeah,
it as a kid.
instead of a tiebreaker, I guess I made a tie maker. So Bailey, Joe, and Kristy, you share the championship this week. You both got 5 points. So congratulations.
yay.
That's the trivia.
As always, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Did you want to make a speech about your win, Bailey?
No, just I forgot how much I love The Wedding Singer. That's a great movie.
It is
Super
actually.
fun.
It is. It holds up. They have good chemistry. He's
Mhm.
yeah.
His breakup song that is inspired by The Cure. That is a great, like, you're home alone and you need something to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that movie. So good.
That sequence is awesome when he's on the stage and then what's his name is like creeping behind the curtain.
Oh yeah.
The benefits.
He's gone insane.
Yes,
Now I'm reaping the benefits.
Love that so much. But yeah, on that note. So yeah, thanks for the trivia. Thanks for the talks. We got a lot of recommendations just around this group. I love it. There's plenty that you mentioned I haven't seen or I want to see again or rewatch, and it's all good stuff. And anyone watching, thank you. Please leave a comment and tell us your own. I know that we have some people that do that, so thank you very much for that. Actually, we had someone point out with Children of the Corn, since you mentioned it, that there was a Naomi Watts one, and I did not realize that.
Wow.
Shout out for pointing that out to us. But yeah, as always, hope everyone's doing well and staying safe and healthy and happy, and as always, just keep watching. stuff. So we, have stuff.
Yeah. Should we tease that we'll be back for a big holiday extravaganza in December?
That's what it's going to be called, holiday extravaganza. Holiday.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yep, we're going to do that.
What?
I was trying to make some cute name for it, but I can't do it. It's not going to work. But it will be fun. And so thanks again. And thank you, everybody. It's always fun to see you.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.